What's up, everyone? Welcome to the second episode of the Rad Gaming Podcast. I'm Pescador.
I'm Jemshi, and in this episode of the podcast, we interview Hunterdoggz, a very talented streamer who currently rocks the Fortnite trend with many victory royales under his belt. We also discuss his drive to continually improve his stream for his viewers, and how this has affected his growing success on Twitch.
This episode of the podcast is sponsored by the Rad Community. The Rad Community is an extremely supportive gaming and streaming community that firmly believes in support for support, not follow for follow. And without further ado, Hunterdoggz.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rad Gaming Podcast, the great spot for all your streaming needs, gaming, and even esports. Starring your hosts, the one and only Pescador and Jemshi.
I guess just take us back real quick. Kind of what was your first video game, and how old were you?
I was probably about 4 or 5, and my family's very young. So when I was like 4 or 5, my uncle was 18, and he was playing Doom on Sega, and he decided to let me play Doom on Sega. And I remember the moment where I was playing, and all of a sudden, you remember those face huggers just come out and jump on your face.
Yep.
And I immediately burst into tears, ran downstairs, and had nightmares for weeks. But I kept asking my mum for Doom every day since. And then she finally got it for me.
Doom is a fantastic game. It's a good game to start off on.
Well, it is.
I hated that. It made me nervous when I kept on getting hit, and it would go, you know, the guy in the bottom corner, you just see his nose start bleeding a little bit.
It goes worse and worse.
I know. It's just that's what scared me the most. It wasn't the demons or the face huggers or anything like that. Just watching his face go from like fine to like bleeding everywhere kind of made me scared. Like that's what got me.
And 2 big black eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. But what started you on Twitch? Like what drew you to Twitch?
When I was at uni, I had a house share, and I would always play video games. And I was just doing my thing in my room, and all of a sudden my housemates would come in and be like, "Who you talking to?" And I was like, "No one. I'm just playing games." I'd be screaming, I'd be singing, I'd be calling people bad things, just being me.
Aren't we
and
all?
He was like, "You should really stream." And I was like, I considered it, but I was too shy. I never left the house. I didn't talk to people. And I guess he planted the seed, and it was my other half that finally went, "Look, just do it. It'll build your confidence." So I started probably a year and a half ago.
Year and a half
got
ago.
out there.
So were you always kind of a shy person and growing up in school?
Yeah, super shy. You wouldn't tell once I'm behind the screen.
Yeah.
In person, I'm almost silent. It's fun.
When you started,
This is going to be a fun podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. When you started doing Twitch, I understand it's very tough for new people to start out from scratch. But the idea behind Twitch and getting people to hop in your chat, and for you being socially not awkward, but just kind of nervous. Yeah. What was the biggest hurdle in general that you faced when you started out?
Knowing people were watching.
Can you elaborate?
Yeah.
It's like when you play a video game and you're on your own. Okay, put it this way. If you're in the house and no one's around, you talk to yourself, right?
For the most part, yeah.
You talk to yourself, you're silly, you goof around. There's no one watching. And you know that it's not socially acceptable. But then if someone's in the house, you don't do that. Like if family are over, you wouldn't be, walking around the kitchen, hitting pans and screaming at a pan saying, "What you looking at, pan?"
That's true.
Don't do that. Yeah. So trying to jump over that hurdle, knowing that actually you're putting yourself out there, you're putting yourself on the line, you're giving an opportunity for people to judge you, and that can like make or break people. But you you got to push it to the side and realize, you know what? No, this is who I am, and if you don't like me, then you can leave, and just be true to yourself. And it's all about building the confidence. The confidence was the biggest thing to get over. Confidence is a huge hurdle.
Absolutely.
That I think a lot of streamers struggle with.
you feel like that's something you're still working on, or is that something that you've
Oh, yeah,
overcome already?
No. If I'm tired or if I'm not feeling particularly great that day, I kind of struggle to motivate myself to get onto stream, because I know that I'm not going to be as interactive, and I don't want that pressure. I suppose the more sleep I get, the better I'm at, and I can be myself more, and I kind of just go, I don't mind if people see who I am. It's okay.
So I suppose that would be some advice you'd give to other streamers: just get sleep.
Yeah, make sure you get sleep. Sleep's important.
On that note, what is your big advice that you would give to any new streamer out there?
Don't give up and be yourself. I know it's very, very, very cliche, but Twitch is something that will grow consistently. The world is full of weird and wonderful people, and someone out there is going to like what you put into the world. But make sure that you're having fun in what you're doing. People can tell if you're not having fun, and don't fake it. People can tell if you're fake. Just be yourself, and you'll have quirks people like. You'll have quirks people won't like. But just keep going. Just keep grinding, and just keep putting yourself out there. Make sure you stick to a schedule. The more organized you are and the more people can rely on you being there, the more likely you're going to build your following. And good Lord, never follow for follow or lurk for lurk. That's against TOS.
That is 100% true. On that note, did you try any communities out to start off with? I personally, when I first started Twitch, I thought follow for follow was the way to go. I honestly thought, if I follow this person, they'll follow me, and maybe I'll hop in his stream or her stream, and then they'll hop in mine. But that's not the case. I mean,
no.
What would you recommend doing when you start out? How would you go about navigating these tricky things? Because people try to persuade you that follow for follow is the way to go.
It's a tough one, because networking is definitely something good. You can meet some really great people, and you host them, and they meet your viewers, and they can host you, and you can meet their viewers. But when you're just starting out, concentrate on your stream. Your stream is the most important part. Concentrate on who you want to be and what you want to put out there. One of the biggest things I did, I didn't want to fully commit to streaming until I had invested into it. So I'd never had a PC. I've always been Mac for music and stuff, and I went out and built a £2,000 PC so I can have a good quality stream, and I wasn't an affiliate. I had 10 followers. I wanted to make sure I had the quality so it'd bring more people in, rather than having a glitchy, laggy picture and hope people will stay.
So is that one of the things you would recommend starting out? What piece of equipment, that you find the most important starting out then? Is that a PC? Is that what you'd say?
Yeah, you need you can't, there's so many people who now stream from consoles, and it can be good quality, but you don't get all the overlays, you don't get the notifications, you don't get, people like to see when subs come up, or when donations come up, or when they get followed. Sometimes people will just donate to see it come up on the screen and see their own name. So I think a PC is definitely somewhere you should go, but that's not to say you can't start on console. One of the biggest things is good upload and a good microphone. Microphone's most important.
Oh, absolutely. No, you keep on specifying or announcing that audio is your most important thing that you look for, your pet peeve, if you will. When you go into other people's streams, you say audio is key. What piece of what device, I guess, would you use to get good audio?
You can use a $20 microphone if you wanted to, and you can still manipulate it to get good audio.
So you would recommend an external mic as opposed to a headset mic,
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Headset mics are fine if you're playing on a console or something, but for communication you wouldn't use a headset mic to record in a studio, would you?
Absolutely not, no.
Or to do a podcast.
Oh, got me there. Very true.
No, you can use You can use like a $20 microphone. So I know I've got a relatively expensive microphone, but I still use gates and limiters and compression within my stream software to kind of fine tune it to knock out background noise. And I can whisper and shout, and it doesn't change the level.
So it sounds like you've got like a music background. Is that something that you've
I've got a degree in music.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm a bachelor of music.
So tell us about that. Is that like what kind of instruments and what got you into the music then?
It was a fluke, I guess. I was very much an academic growing up. You know, I loved my science. Terrible at English. Scraped English.
Aren't we all?
To get through that. I know word good. But I, did my typical academia, your physics, your maths, your statistics, and I went to college and I was like, no, this is dumb. I hate it. They still treat you like children, so I just kind of stopped. But when I was 14, I heard someone play piano. I went in, I copied exactly what they did on piano, and turned out I could play piano, so I kind of pursued that and then decided, I'm going to go do this at college. And then after college, I was like, I'm going to go to university and get a degree in it. Just kind of stemmed from there.
So what did you go to college for originally, before music?
So it's a little bit different in America. When we say college, it's...
Is that before university?
Yeah. So
Right.
we have school up until 16. Then we have 2 years of college to kind of fine-tune what you want to do. Then you go to university and do a sole degree for that.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And at college, I did physics, maths, statistics, and music technology. So I wanted to know a little bit about that. And I got rid of all of that, and then I went and did a national diploma in popular music. And that stemmed into commercial music degree, which looks at film music and game music.
Have you done anything with it by any chance? I know that you created some music. You've showed me before. But have you done anything with it in general other than, just messing around?
I've done a couple of bits, messing around and, giving free samples to people and doing little odd jobs here and there. Nothing major.
And anything on the horizon using it? Like, are you planning to actually pursue your career with music?
Probably not, because it's such a fickle world and hard to get into as a composer. But there is something I was working on the other day, which I'm going to try use a contact of a contact for next Christmas. So that's all I'll say.
Oh. Is music something that you'll be incorporating in your stream, like, in the future? A little more?
No. I might, put a couple of things that I've written up on stream, but I wouldn't do music on stream.
So what instruments? I am guessing piano. Are there any others?
Start
I'm a
on
music
piano.
guy, so I'm interested.
Started on piano. When I was in college, I did a band, so I learnt bass, and then ended up doing loads of stuff in London. And then when I was at university, because I knew bass and I knew piano, basic guitar, so chords and finger picking came quite easily. I can't solo. Don't give me an electric guitar. That's just not for me. And then I also tried violin. Violin's pretty cool. I like violin. It's the devil's instrument.
I know that you are constantly reading things and catching up on things that Twitch is bringing to the community, and also other games and things like that. Is there anything out there right now that really has your attention? I know that a while back you had Red Dead was you're on your scale. You also, I know that Twitch is kind of bringing in some kind of multi-stream, if I heard correctly. But is there anything? I mean, you can even elaborate on one of those. But is there anything that you really has your focus right now?
One thing that's really exciting that I found is TwitchCon is finally in the EU for the first time ever. So obviously you've got TwitchCon. It's always in America. It's in San Jose, I think, every year.
That sounds right. I know it's somewhere California.
Yeah. We've now this is the first year in April that it's coming to the EU, so it's going to be one in America and one in EU. So we don't have to spend thousands of pounds getting a plane ticket anymore.
Are you going to go?
Not this year, but next year. And then the following year, I'm hoping to go to the U.S., America.
Have you been to America before?
No, I really want to though.
Come on over and visit. I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, 10 years ago it'd been fine. Like, our pound was double the dollar. Now it's basically the same, and you guys are more expensive.
What can we say? I mean, it's just the life we live in anymore, my man. But do you have any specific games that you really enjoy playing? I know you play Fortnite a lot, and you're really good at Fortnite. But is there any other games besides Fortnite that you really enjoy?
Off stream or on stream?
Either or. We'll go with off stream because that's just what you truly enjoy. Mostly on stream, you kind of just play a game that you know that people will kind of enjoy as well. For the most part, is what
off stream first, and then on stream second.
Off stream, I like all my story stuff. So Red Dead, Middle Earth.
Oh, that's a good one.
Dark Souls, but Dark Souls is what I actually started streaming on. It's the
really?
First game I stream. Yeah,
that is a tough game to start on.
I love Dark Souls. Dark Souls is amazing. Great campaign, amazing stories.
I still have yet to play it. Oof! Oh man, I have not yet got to play Dark Souls 3. I have it, but I've seen so many people rage when playing that game. I just don't know if I have it in me to play the game actually the way it's meant to be played and put it on like a hard difficulty and go through it.
You won't rage, and there is no hard difficulty. You don't get to choose.
Oh, I know.
It's just play.
That's what I'm saying. It's just a hard difficulty to begin with. I'm saying I can't even play Fortnite right. I have Stormtrooper aim. So I mean, I see everyone else playing. I'm like, I can play this game, and then I play, and I look like I am a Stormtrooper, and I'm trying to shoot at a Jedi. It's awful. It's terrible.
Oh, no. Dark Souls is one of the best stories out there. I think there's even, in one of my first ever streams, I cried on stream for one of the stories and boss fights.
Oh man, please tell me you have that recorded.
No, long time ago.
I want to find that video so bad.
It's when all my lighting was bad, my camera was bad. All before I updated it all.
So what got you to update all of that? Was that something that
I just wanted it to be better.
Gotcha. I didn't know if that was like something that was brought up to you by a viewer or.
It was more just the more I kind of got into Twitch, the more I'd look back. So a big thing a lot of people don't do is looking back over your VODs and seeing yourself. It's horrible, and I don't recommend it, but you should do it. Because you get to see the quality back, you get to see like the camera angles, the camera lighting, the audio, and you can go, actually, that lighting's a little bit bad. I'm going to have to up this, or the audio's a little bit too quiet there. I can balance it here. You should always keep on top of it.
I see you never chose to go with the green screen. What made you decide to, have a little backdrop? I see your little cabinet or your little shelves to your right.
I have a green screen.
But you don't use it, as I'm saying. What made you decide to go with, the little bit of color in the background and showing your shelves and everything on it?
I think it was more of a preference over gaming. So with the purple lighting, I can still see everything, but it's dim, so it doesn't strain my eyes as much as playing for hours on end. Whereas with a green screen, the lighting, it's not difficult to do, but you've got to have very, very bright lights to make sure the screen's lit. There's a light that separates you from the screen. You've also got to have a light right in front of you. You've just got lights all around you, and it gets really hot, and it's just a little bit uncomfortable. And then by the end of 4 or 5 hours, your eyes are kind of like, oh, I just want to close them. It's brighter than the sun in a green screen. It's awful. They're not warm, they're cool, the bulbs. Do you know the difference?
No, I didn't even say that.
Yeah. Cool and warm, but you have to use cool ones, so they're like white light, not the yellow warmth that you usually get from a light.
I gotcha.
Plus, people like to see. I think it's more personal if they see the background. Kind of.
Yeah, and I see you have stuff on there. What do you have on there? You never really, I never really seen it. What do you have on your shelves, beside you?
I think you can see. I've got I've forgotten his name.
Put you on the spot. I'm sorry about that.
I can't remember his name. Basically, I've got the Prince of Trickery, and I've got the main dragon. So the Prince of Trickery, the Daedric Prince from Skyrim. The main dragon from Skyrim. Titanfall helmet, Titanfall breast. Yeah, I got a breast. Titan. All the Witcher statues. I've got every Assassin's Collector's Edition. I've got a dwarf from ESO, Battlefield 1, Dark Souls, Gears of War, Overwatch, Halo.
Jeez.
You name it, I've got it.
You have a great collection there.
I've even got this. Check this out.
Oh my lord! Wow.
The Bullrat.
Very nice.
Fighting. I can't remember what they're called. I'll just call it a Nactil.
Yeah, where did you get that at, if you don't mind me asking?
The collector's edition. I try to get collector's editions of games.
How many games do you think in all that you have? I know you have a ton of games. If you do the collector's editions, look at all those, I guess memorabilia. What was that? Oh, I said, how many games do you own? I mean, I see you, or at least collector's editions do you have? Because you have a ton of collector's items in the background, and I'm actually blown away. I've never seen someone collect so many things. Like I had the original Halo helmet because I got the collector's edition for that, but that's all I've ever done. But you have I can't even count how many you have. You have so many.
Oh god, I've got too many to count.
Yeah, you really do. It's actually really impressive.
Do you have a rough number?
He's physically counting right now. Still going. Jeez, oh man.
It's just on the one side of the room. Wow.
Yeah, I know. He's just going around the room. Jeez, oh man. I'm sorry for... We're going to say probably over... I'm going to make a guess right here, Jump Sheet. I think I'm over 30. I'll say 35.
I'm going to go...
Oh,
I was going to go with 40.
38 so far.
Jeez, oh man. Any other collector's editions that are catching your eye in the future? Is there any game that you want to get the collector's edition for coming soon?
Not really, because they're getting worse.
Really?
Collector's editions are going down. So you used to get a really nice resin statue, and that's in the way. I can show you another time. But I've got the Titanfall Titan there, and it must be about this big.
Yeah.
It's a big old collector's item.
So we think what
2 or 3 feet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's American measurements.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
2 foot. And then you've got the Witcher one, which is pure resin, and the detail's amazing. And now you pay the same price, and you get an 8-inch figure that kind of just looks like it's being painted by a 6-year-old. This is what happened.
So, do you have any that you kind of regret getting, or are they all ones that you've carefully chosen before?
I regret. No, I mean, I got the Recall one. It's pretty basic, but it was the cheapest one I've got. So. I don't mind too much. It's just like buying a pop figure, really.
So I see you're collecting things in general from the collector's items, obviously, but is there any hobbies you have outside of gaming?
No.
What? Straightforward, huh? You don't do anything outdoors, or
I go skiing.
Oh, you're skiing. There you go. Any specific? I can't even speak right now. Do you have any specific places that you go or you like to go?
I've always wanted to go to Canada, and I can't remember where it is in America, but there's a really famous place. It's for skiing.
Colorado is a good place for skiing. I don't know if you're thinking about Alaska or that's the only one I can think of with.
I mean, there's. Oh, you said it'd be with an A.
Yeah, but it's not the state.
Is it the slope?
Maybe.
Appalachian Mountains.
Maybe. I don't know. Oh, but because I'm obviously in the UK, I go to a lot of Europe. So I've been quite a few places in Europe, and I'm going to Bulgaria in February.
What for? What are you going to Bulgaria to do?
Ski.
Oh, just ski. Okay. I'm so sorry. I thought you were just going to see, some of the scenery and whatnot, walk around. Okay.
Well, I mean, I'll look at the scenery when I'm on the mountain, but
all you see is white. I'll tell you right now. It's just trees, white, trees, white.
Yeah, but when you go high enough and you go above the clouds, then that's peace right there. You ain't to worry about nothing.
So you just never go down from the mountain then? Is that where you live right now? On top of
I wish. Oh, man. God, skiing's amazing. Everyone should go skiing. It's great fun.
I'm
terrible. I'm actually gonna try do a IRL stream from my phone.
Oh, please do.
Mountain.
And then when you break your legs, I can call someone for you. I really could, even though it's over. I know it's in Europe. I understand, but it's not 911. It's what is it now over there?
I don't know. It's Bulgaria.
Yeah, it depends on what country you're
in. I know. It's,
just call 911. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. It's no big deal. I know that you did a lot of graphics. What was that?
My friend has broke his leg in Bulgaria. What do you want us to do about it, sir?
I don't know. Send somebody.
But we are currently located in the UK.
Actually, no. I'm just going to call you and just be like, you doo-doo at skiing.
Why would you call me? You'd be in my stream.
No, well, so what? I mean, yeah, it's true. It is. I'll come out of nowhere and just tackle him and be like, you doo-doo. And then go run back in the woods. Oh, did you ever play that skiing game back in the good old days on the computer? The ski slope? I can't remember what it's called. You used to ski. You know what I'm talking about? Please tell me you know what I'm talking about, Jemshi. At least you have to know.
I'm sorry.
There's this old school game, very old school, back in, 1990s. You used to ski down the slope, and you have to miss the trees and stuff.
So.
Well, I was born in 1990, but that's not the point. The point is there was an awesome game that you used to play. I cannot remember. It's going to drive me literally insane. But you used to ski down a slope, and you have to try to hit or miss the trees and the hills, because then you fall and
that sounds
die.
familiar. Was this like were you coming down the screen like this?
Yes. And then
I played that one.
If you get so far down the slope, the abominable snowman comes out and eats you, or he chases you. So I thought it was hilarious. I can't believe you never played that game. It's like a staple.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I played Pac-Man. Pac-Man was pretty cool.
Yeah, Pac-Man was pretty good. Is there any other like original games that you really loved? I know you said Doom was one of them.
I mean, I loved Game Boy. Pokemon, I could smash Pokemon all day.
What version? Or what versions?
Yellow. Yellow was the name.
Yes, yellow.
Then I went to red.
That's a good call.
Silver, not gold, but crystal was the best one I've played. And then they started doing all the fire reds and stuff, and I was kind of like, okay, it's enough. Like, I just want the original 150. They're good. They're good Pokemon.
151.
True. Have you seen Pokemon now? There's a trash bag.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
There's like 1,000 or something now, maybe?
Oh, so many.
I mean, one is a trash bag and one's a pair of keys.
Oh, there's an actual trash bag Pokemon?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Is that actually
an actual trash bag?
I thought you were joking.
I actually really want to look this up now. I'm actually, oh my goodness. I want to see this trash bag. Yeah, please give me a second. Do I like type in Google trash bag Pokemon?
It's called Trubbish.
Oh my goodness! All right.
See it? Oh my gosh. Does it evolve into anything?
It evolves into a recycling bin.
Are you kidding me right now? Is that an actual thing?
I don't
Garbodor?
What? What are these? Are they just like staring at things in a room super high and just like, you know what's a great idea? A trash bag. That looks like a Pokemon. I'm going to call it Trubbish. A mesh with trash and rubbish. Trubbish. I honestly don't get it, but they get paid the big bucks to make a I can make up a lampish. I call it lamp thing. I don't know, but
there is a lamp Pokemon. I know.
Yep. Is it? Are you serious? See, that's how much I know about Pokemon after the very like original ones. Like those were I knew.
There's like a chandelier or something that.
Get out of here! Oh my goodness! I literally looked at one thing in the room and I was like, I'm gonna make it up. This is like they're like the Stephen King of freaking Pokemon, man. They just like see stuff and I'm like, that's a good book. That's a good book right there. Monitor that kills people. Let's write it down and sell it. Sell millions of copies. You know? Oh my goodness. Hunter, I know that you have personally touched like all the like art on your page. What did you use and why did you create it yourself instead of using something that someone else has created?
To be unique, to have something yourself. But I used Adobe Illustrator, Adobe After Effects, and Adobe Photoshop.
That's a good call.
Is that self-taught, or is that something that you learned in school?
No. Hours and hours of YouTube videos. Good fun. Good fun. YouTube. You want to learn something, go on YouTube. It's great.
Absolutely. The thing that I guess new Twitch users like to know, is there something that you would advise them to do or change about the way that they stream? I mean, what advice would you give them?
What do you mean?
So I'm saying I'm a first time streamer. I Googled something about Twitch, saw what other streamers are kind of doing. So I have a basic setup with a webcam, a headset with a mic. I know you said audio earlier is a thing, but like, what is one thing that they should focus on when they first start streaming that like you would tell them to don't do it? Like, is there a do and don't list that you have?
I mean, don't break the TOS. That's a big thing.
It's true. But other than that, I mean, plain rules. I mean, what would you tell like new streamers not to do?
I mean, it's all individual, isn't it? Everyone's going to be different. Me personally, don't just have a donate button.
Oh yeah,
that never sends a good message. If you're going to add anything to your stream and your panels, make it personal. Have something about you. Make it interesting. Try and make it clean and neat. Don't treat Twitch as a dollar sign. Too many people see it as a dollar sign and not a community base. I think that's one of the biggest things.
I'd have to agree. I've seen too many people. Basically, you hop in their stream, talk to them for a little bit, and say, if you don't mind, please donate $1. And that drives me insane. And actually, right then and there, I just, I joke, I'll say something probably, and then just leave. Like, I don't want anything to do with it. And I actually really agree with that whole statement. It drives me insane.
Yeah, the community aspect is one thing that I think a lot of people overlook.
Definitely. There are so many. So I recently went to a thing called Twitch London, and it's a party for streamers and viewers. It's mainly streamers, but viewers and mods can go along as well. And obviously, growing up and doing education through the music industry and working briefly in the music industry. The music industry is very fickle. People will quite happily stab you in the back and then be nice to your face and, and then just shunt you. But at this Twitch party, there were Twitch partners there, people with, hundreds of thousands of followers, and there were Twitch staff members there. And anyone and everyone would be more than happy to talk to you and introduce themselves to you. And there's just a thing with etiquette, and manners cost nothing. So the best thing I found with people who are in Twitch for the right reasons, they are willing to help and willing to listen and willing to meet anyone and everyone. And there's no bias and there's no judgment. And it's just making sure you kind of learn who they are and find out about them, not just what they can do for you. There's an unspoken etiquette in Twitch. Like, you don't go, hey, this guy's got 10,000 followers and he's got an average viewership of 500. I'm going to go be friends with him and ask him to host me. Like, that's just not going to get you anywhere. But if you actually talk to him and meet him and learn stuff about him, then you can build a relationship, network, and then maybe one day you might be able to do something together.
Would you say that networking is a very important part of becoming, a bigger streamer?
Yeah, but it's very hard to network at such a small level. Like,
absolutely.
Who's huge at the moment? I play Fortnite, and the typical trio: Ninja, Dr. Lupo, Tim the Tatman. But Dr. Lupo was on Destiny before. Tim the Tatman was on Overwatch, and Ninja was on H1Z1. They didn't cross paths, but then they all have a following. They all started playing Fortnite, and they all got along, and they started streaming with each other, and then Ninja's viewers would go into Tim's, and Tim's viewers would go into Ninja's, and then Lupo, and so forth and so forth. And now people love watching all three of them together because they networked. But before Fortnite, they didn't know who each other were.
our police know each other in the way that they do now. I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
they
yeah.
everyone was probably at least aware of Ninja, is what
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
I know you
Well-
do. Oh,
He blew up on Fortnite, didn't he?
yeah, he did.
I think that he was earlier this year, early 2018 was his big blowout.
I know
or
that
rise
you.
to fame.
I know that you try to actually network with people that do follow you. I know that you invite individuals to play with you. Has that ever backfired at all? Like, have you ever gotten a troll like in chat that kind of made its way into one of your games and kind of really messed up your game for you?
I've never had people who. I'm quite chilled and quite laid back, so I don't mind people trolling. I don't mind people coming in and saying stuff about me if they're intelligent about it. I'll always give them a second chance. If it's not a very good troll, I'll be like, "Come on, you can do better than that."
You troll them back a little bit.
Yeah, I try kind of coax them into trying to, be smart about the remarks.
How to be a better troll.
Yeah, not the typical "you're trash, kid." It's like, okay, all right, let's move it on. Let's give you another chance. We're gonna. But there's one thing I cannot tolerate, and it's anything to do with like any ism, sexism, racism, just anything like that, or bullying. I don't like bullying in chat. Like, if anyone comes in and they start having a go at people who are in my stream, then they get timed out and then banned.
Oh, I kind of know how that feels. You banned me a few times for saying that you're doo-doo on stream.
Oh, yeah.
That's banter.
Absolutely. You mean you're saying that a command at Pescador0924 is not a slight to me whatsoever? What does it return again? You tell me again. I'm sorry.
I mean, I have no idea. I don't know what you're talking about.
Watch his stream to find out.
I think it was like a 404 error, no skill found. Is that what it was?
So if you want to get Pescador's attention in my stream, all you have to do is the typical at Pescador. You don't even have to use a command. Just get his attention with at Pescador. And Nightbot will quite favorably give you a computer error of error 404, and I can't remember the rest.
I'll tell you what it says. It says skill not found, so that's exactly what it says. Don't worry, I remember.
At Pescador. What's your number?
0924.
0924. Chat. Error 404, skill not found.
Yeah, that's exactly. I think Quivik actually hit it today. So it was a good time. But I did notice that you started playing Overwatch. What is the sudden change? You were all about Fortnite. Now you're back to Overwatch, and you're ripping on me earlier for trying to get you to play Overwatch. What's going on there?
Well, surprisingly enough, so you've been in my stream quite a few times. You know Quivik and you know Ginge?
Yeah.
Ginge Taters. They are actually followers from when I played Overwatch on stream.
Oh, you're a grandmaster, huh?
No, never remember. But I played Overwatch. So I finished Dark Souls. I did both South Parks. I then wanted to get into some more multiplayer stuff. I did Destiny, but Destiny was very slow, and I liked raiding off stream. So I was like, I'll play Overwatch. I got Overwatch, and this was all on Xbox. And I streamed that for quite a little while, and it was fun. It was a nice bit. It was a nice change. And then Fortnite came out, and I got hooked. It's got pretty colors, and you spend money for no reason.
It's like every game anymore, man. Everything is modeling itself off of Fortnite. I just saw like a couple. I personally think the battle royale market is completely saturated now, and it's kind of driving me away from that kind of genre of games. But I don't know. I love survival games. That's kind of what I made my stay. But if you could play any other game besides battle royale, what would you play? Well, what's your go-to?
I don't know anymore.
That's a great answer.
Well, what is your opinion on loot boxes then? Loot crates, all those nowadays that are kind of saturating every game out there now.
I don't mind them. Like, I've always been one where if I want to get a loot box, I'll get a loot box, but I'm not going to go spend money I don't have. But at the same time, I understand that it's a form of gambling, especially for younger generations. Like, there's a skin they want, they can only get it in a box, so they buy 10 crates and they don't get it. They buy 20 crates, they still don't get it. And they buy 30 crates, they still don't get it. But whose card did they use? Their mom's credit card, and they've just spent $300.
That sounds kind of like before loot boxes. I think that was like Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Same thing.
Yeah,
you open up a pack and you're trying to find that one card that your friend had, and you wanted to get that card.
But you could trade them. You could trade with Pokemon cards.
Oh, that's true. I guess some games don't allow that.
But some games do. I mean, like, look at Rocket League. They did the same thing with the crates and everything like that. I mean, you could trade them after a period of time, but, I mean, you're right. They just remarket things. I mean, they take what used to work in the past and just remarket it to fit today's generation. So, I mean, what are you going to do about that? Nothing you can do. I mean, it's a brilliant market scheme, in my opinion. I mean, it is. People love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it needs phasing out. It's too much gambling.
Absolutely.
I think it's just the amount of the game that's like there's a huge aspect of it. It's just that loot crate. Like if you want a new skin, it's all loot crates. If there was like a good balance, I would suppose, because like it seems like the only way to get a new skin is loot boxes. There's no, I guess Fortnite allows you to buy them straight out. So
yeah, but you still have to buy them for real money. One thing I do, so give credit where credit's due. Overwatch, you get loot boxes for every level you get up. And if you get enough gold, you can just go buy the skin with the in-game currency.
Yeah, that is one aspect that, or just, not aspect, there's just, I don't know. One thing I like about the game, Overwatch, is that you can at least just buy out the ones you want with in-the-game currency that you can accumulate.
Blizzard always does a fantastic job of doing that kind of thing, in my opinion. I used to play WoW when I was, younger. But there's ways that you can either farm things. It takes you a little while to do it, but you can still do it, or you can actually spend real money to get, certain things, certain mounts. I thought they did a really good job over time. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've always played WoW back in the good old days when WoW was actually good, and they actually came up with some content. So,
vanilla WoW.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, my friends actually bought me it for some reason. They wanted me to play, and I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna play this game. And they're like, just level up to 20, and then we'll go from there. And I leveled up to 20, and I'm like hooked. Like I was like, I gotta play more WoW, and it was so bad. And then we got to the raids, and I was like raiding every day, and oh man, I just spent a lot of time. I'm not gonna say I wasted a lot of time. I made some really good friends playing that game, but man, did I spend a lot of time playing the game.
See, mine was Gears of War. Gears of War was my crux.
The first one?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the first time I went online and played with people. That was my first multiplayer experience.
But the campaign was, it was fantastic, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
The first time something ever like that came out, I mean, the concept of it was phenomenal. Oh, man.
I think the best thing about... So Gears of War as a franchise, good, but the Gears of War 1 will never be beaten by any of the other Gears.
No,
I think
absolutely
the only
not.
description I've got of Gears of War, the first one, is that it was dirty. Like,
You're talking about the chainsaw and just cutting through,
just like how it played. It was chunky. It was gritty. It was dirty. It wasn't smooth. You wouldn't like glide over a blockade and whilst you're trying to get over it like you do in like Call of Duty and stuff.
Yeah.
You would grunt and you would stumble and throw yourself over and pull your shotgun out. Like it was a dirty game.
It's the same thing. I think a lot of games that are, the very first one of many series games, like Halo, for instance. I love the original Halo. It was fantastic. Really great story. And then it got gradually worse as time went on. And now they're just dragging out the series. And as much as I enjoy Bungie's games, I kind of stopped playing them, over time. It just kind of got worse. So I don't disagree.
We can all agree that Halo 2 is the best.
I loved Halo 2. The campaign, it was awesome. And then also online. Online was fun. So phenomenal.
But the campaign, and you get to be the Arbiter, and the
No, I love that part.
Chief and the Arbiter. Oh my god, I
can't tell you how many games or how many nights I spent playing it, beating the whole game on Legendary. My friend and I would just stay up for hours on end, and like we go through the entire campaign, beat it on Legendary. Like, all right, let's do it again, and we go and do it again. It's like we do 2 nights in a row, and it was bad. Like I got no sleep, but man, was it so much fun.
Oh yeah, what life would be if I could go back now.
I don't even know what I would do, man. I'm saying like what there's nothing like that now. Like if you think about it, in our generation, besides Red Dead, I mean, I really can't. I guess Elder Scrolls can be another one, but like, I really don't see that big of a campaign that you can play. Like,
well, the biggest problem now is there's no split screen.
Yeah, there's no couch multiplayer.
Just,
you know,
like, you can't just mong with a mate and just.
That's true.
Just play split screen, like what?
Unless you play sports games, I mean.
Oh, yeah,
I know. I was, but I got to throw it out there because there are split screens on there, and you know you can play. But
can you imagine split screen like Fortnite or something else like it that's coming out now?
Yeah, but even what was it? Halo 5 Guardians? They didn't split screen that, and Halo was always split screen. You could always do it with a friend. Missed a treat there.
I stopped by one of your streams before, Hunter, and I noticed that you were discussing about a sleepwalking spell you had one night. Can you kind of run everyone by this? I love the story, and I wanted to.
Why?
Because it was hilarious. I absolutely love the story. I happened to hop in your stream when I was driving on my way home. I put up my car and I just listened on the way back. And I remember you talking about you like one day I did sleepwalk, and this is exactly what happened. I think it's something fantastic to share on the podcast, and I wanted you to kind of hit it up if you don't mind.
So sorry for any listeners. This is not that great a story.
It's fun.
When I was younger, I was, very much. I'd play video games all the time, but when you're kids, you got friends in the neighborhood are like, come out. So we used to go out and build forts I grew up on an army estate. It's like not an army base, but it's like all the army houses around the base. So very segregated from the real world. And we had lots of fields and lots of woods and stuff. And we used to go build bases, get plywood, take tent poles apart and turn them into bows and arrows, and just boys being boys. But one day when we built a base in a tree, I found a bird nest, and it had eggs. Oh, hi Freya, and it had eggs in it. Freya wants to be part of this now.
I see that. Cat just jumped on your lap right there.
And I was like, oh no, it's got no mum. They're not knowing anything about nature. Obviously, the mum's gone off, and if you tamper with the eggs, the mum will never go back to the eggs. I didn't know. I took the eggs. I was like, I've got to keep these eggs safe. So I took the nest home. I took the eggs home, and I thought that was it. Like, I'm being a good little boy. I'm gonna raise these chicks myself. Anyway, there was a kid who used to come round, who lived near me, and he came in and he wanted to see these eggs. So I was like, oh, yeah, that's fine, I'll show him. He picked them up and he just crushed them. Oh. In both hands. Just squeezed these, just crushed these eggs. And I was like, what? Safe to say we weren't friends. But that night, and this is the only time I have ever sleptwalked, and my mom thought I was possessed, but she came downstairs in the middle of the night, must have been about 3 a.m. There's a little 7-year-old me, or 8-year-old, like just walking into the back door and trying to open the back door. And my mom was freaking out, and she was like, Adam, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I just turned to her, eyes open, with my hands out, saying, I've got to put the eggs back. Just holding nothing. I've got to put the eggs back. And then I turn back around and just keep walking into the door and try opening the door. And my mum told me that when I was about 18. It's like, what? That's me.
There's a lot. There's a lot wrong with you. I know it's a long list.
Only time I've sleptwalked. Obviously, I was distressed.
Or the only time anyone's told you about it, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Because he told you when you were 18, so that was like a good, 10 years?
You know, when you're growing up, you sleep around your mates and stuff and all of that. I've never sleptwalked, but I am renowned for being a moaner, a talker, and just generally noisy as hell. I don't snore, but I'll quite happily just moan and chirp and make stupid noises.
It sounds like an entertaining stream, if I might suggest.
IRL sleep stream.
I mean, at least people will be entertained.
Yeah, we won't disappoint.
That's all we want.
Is there anything that you've ever experienced during stream that was a little awkward, like maybe from chat or from yourself? Have you ever done anything embarrassing while streaming?
I guess in streaming, no, not for me. I mean, I've been embarrassed on stream, but I've never done anything embarrassing. The only awkward thing would be, so I also teach, and I go into a college and teach, and sometimes students find me and trick themselves into games, which is a huge safeguarding concern, and like stream can get a little bit awkward because I've got to protect the college as well as protecting me, because it's, you know, safeguarding.
Yeah.
It's interaction outside, which that can be a little bit awkward at times, but I seem to handle it.
So what do you teach at college then?
Music.
Music. That's what I wanted to.
Yeah. Music industry and music instruments.
So
you teach particular instruments or just
typically piano, because I find it easy.
Okay.
I had a difficult time with music in general. Like, it'll start with a recorder, basically. And I know that I'm terrible with every instrument I touch. I'll probably break a drum, break a drumstick over my hand, trying to do something with it. But what is your go-to instrument? What are you really good at doing?
Piano.
Piano?
Always go piano.
Man, is there any, like, specific song, you know, like a Beethoven or something that you really enjoy playing, or...
No, I will just kind of fiddle and just make up stuff and just do what I want. Like, whatever comes to mind, I guess.
Oh, man,
recently, it's been a lot more jazz. I kind of got a thing for jazz at the moment.
Ooh. Are we going to hear that on stream sometime soon?
Oh, God, no.
No, please.
I don't want to set up a piano and plug it in. That's all hooked up to my Mac.
Yeah, so you were talking earlier before this podcast, kind of what you had planned in the future for your stream, kind of the things you had that you wanted to, I don't know, improve on, and you want to kind of elaborate on those things?
Yeah, obviously, even though I'm still a relatively small channel and a small streamer, I always think I want to make sure that my stream is the best quality I can do right now. So I'm looking to get a DSLR camera, which I don't know if you're aware of the difference on stream, but obviously with our webcams now, we're relatively focused, but it's still quite blurry. It's not as sharp. And whereas if you take pictures with a Canon or a Panasonic and you see the photos, they're crisp and they're beautiful quality, you can actually have that as a camera on stream as well. And it just makes... It's just having that crisp outline and just making it a better viewer. And then I'm also looking to building a second PC that'll be my primary gaming, and then my current PC will just be a stream PC.
So what are you going to put in your second PC? Like, what like graphics card, motherboard, RAM? Like, what are we talking about here?
You want every component?
You don't have to go to every component, but I mean, give us a gist of what kind of graphics card.
I'll probably try and build a very strong gaming PC, so I'll go for the RTX 2080 Ti with a 9th gen i7 and standard 32 gig of RAM. I don't need any more than that. There's no need for 64, but 16 is just not enough.
That's overkill, yeah.
And that will be my gaming PC, and then I've already got a 4K capture card, the Elgato one.
Elgato.
Elgato.
Yeah.
Always the best. So I will literally just split instead of having dual monitor on my gaming PC, I'll just have it mirror display, and it will mirror into my current PC, and that will just stream. So the CPU will be used just for streaming, which means my quality should be double. Yeah, should be good.
I get to see that beautiful face better, huh? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
I'm excited for that.
PC is a project in 2019. Camera is probably early 2019, maybe January.
I know that you said earlier in the stream that or in this podcast that you actually want to improve your stream. You look back at your stuff. What do you think you currently do well as a streamer? Like, what do you look back and you see and like, I actually like that I do that, or I really like the way I did whatever. What do you think you do well?
It's a hard one because I don't think I do anything well. I think I try and interact and make sure everyone's welcome. Like, I'll always try and acknowledge everyone there. But sometimes it can get hard when chat's a bit busier, and some people don't like.
It's hard to keep up while you're playing Fortnite, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely.
That's one thing I like about Fortnite is that you've got like those breaks in between to kind of interact with chat, and then also play the game and get when it gets intense.
Yeah,
it's but those final circle is when it gets. I don't make it to the final circle, so I don't have that problem.
I have Hunterdoggz to carry me to the final circle. That's what happens. That's the only. I've only won probably about 5 or 6 games in Fortnite. I'm not even kidding when I say that. And every single game I've won, it's been with Hunterdoggz. So I mean, I don't know how he's carried me to the final circle every single time. I've been standing probably for about 2 or 3 wins. So I
probably play 90% for fun, and then there's 10% of the games that I'll sweat it out and play properly. I've taken you to the victory with those 10%.
You really need that extra effort because I am absolutely dreadful at building. I panic build. It's awful. I waste all my mats trying to panic build, and it just doesn't get me anywhere either. Like, I'll build a box and not even in the box. That's just how bad I am. So, I mean, you can't even disagree. You've seen me build. It's pretty bad.
The worst is, I've seen you. There's a guy in front of you, and he's trying to shoot you, so you will stop, and you'll pull out your booklet, and then you'll put a wall to try and put it in between you and him, but you put it to the left.
Yep, I've done that.
And then he'll just look at you and stop shooting, and then you'll spin, and you're like, ah, and then you'll put it the other side.
Yep.
and he's
it's panic building. I told you. There's never a time that I build that I don't panic build. Even when I'm trying to make a ramp to get up somewhere, I'm like, oh, what button is it? Panic, and I'm just like building as I'm going up. And now that I can't like mess up, now that they've taken away the ability to pull out your glider when you're up at high heights, I am screwed. But I think the funniest part was Hunterdoggz and I played a custom match. He's like, we need to get you to build properly. And I was like, building, and I was feeling really confident. I was real excited, and he's like, fight me right now. And I'm like, okay. And I remember he was on 4 health for 10 minutes, and I'm not even exaggerating, 4 health for 10 minutes, and I could not hit him with a single bullet, and he wasn't really building anything. He was just hopping from builds that were previously there. I couldn't hit him. That's just how bad I am, but
or just how good Hunterdoggz is.
Well, yeah, I mean, a little bit of both, but I mean...
Yeah, Brad definitely helped.
Yeah, no. That goes into my next segue. You have made your stance on Fortnite. You have etched your name in the Fortnite Halls of Fame, in my opinion. And I notice a lot of people go to your stream and play Fortnite. Once Fortnite kind of runs its course, what game are you going to move to next?
I don't know. I'm really looking forward to Anthem. Anthem's been something that I've been looking forward to since, 2016, I think.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with it. Can you give me a little rundown of what it is?
So there's not a lot out there. It's kind of like a world where it's an evolving world where there's monsters and stuff, and you have these javelin suits that are upgradable. It's kind of like EA's Destiny.
Yeah.
Would be the best way to put it out there. And it's
loot crates. No.
No, there's no loot crate.
Oh, great!
I'd recommend watching an advert. You'd learn more from an advert than what I could.
No, I love listening to you talk about this. No, I got away from Destiny just because of the specific raid. The raids in general just kind of do me in. There's so many times you have to get up with a good group that knows what they're doing, and even then it's very tough to actually do the raids. And I've learned over time that if you don't dedicate a large chunk of time to raiding in general, that it kind of screws up. Is there raiding in this game? Because I
think there might be. But so remember, I've got over 2,500 hours on Destiny 1.
Really?
Yeah.
You have it for the Xbox?
Yeah.
I think that's what made me stop playing it, to be honest. I did so
much.
much.
Killed by Hunterdoggz all the time?
No, maybe it's very possible. I'm sure he has destroyed me online. Probably run into each other because I have Xbox as well, and I played the heck out of that game when it first came out. But the raiding in general, I did so much in WoW when my friends got it for me. I think it was up to Lich King, and I kept on grinding and got 3 characters in a couple months to level 85, and then I raided, and it was just awful. Like, just so much time and effort goes into raiding, and like you only get so far. You know, you get through one boss, and there's like still 2 more bosses, and they're like, "All right, we just did it. 5-hour raid. Let's come back and do it again tomorrow." And I'm just like, there's no part of me that wants to do this again for another 5 hours. Like, this is just ridiculous. I mean, I did it for a while, but I just couldn't do it anymore, man. I just couldn't.
You need to up those hours, man. I remember one of the first raids I did on Destiny took 19 hours.
Straight? Like, you guys, like, stop, obviously, for breaks and things like that, but, like...
I mean, maybe to pee and get some toast, but...
Are you kidding? 19 hours? My lord. I don't even know when I've had 19 hours to actually game.
I was at uni. I just bailed on lessons.
And this is during your university days? Just like, I'm not going to go to school. I'm just going to...
Back when you're studying music.
I mean, Destiny Tuesday, because Destiny Reset was always at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday. My first lesson was jazz improv at 9:30, and I think I went to 1 out of the entire year. My teacher didn't even know who I was. I turned up on the last day ready for the exam. And he said, "Do you know what you're doing?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Let's go."
So as a college or a professor yourself, do you have that with your own students every now and then? Where you're like, "Oh, that new game got released this weekend. I don't see any students."
Yeah, typically I'm not in. I'm playing that game.
So it's still just you.
Yeah.
He hasn't changed one bit.
No, if there's a big game I'm looking forward to, I'll make sure I've got the time.
Okay, I'll ask this question right now. What game made you miss the largest chunk of time? Because if I can remember correctly, Halo 2 did, and Elder Scrolls got me there. Skyrim? I took Skyrim. Freaking week off of whatever it was. I think I was in college at the time. I'm almost positive. It was definitely a week, but I just can't remember if it was college. I think it was work and college. I think I just said, I'm steadily sick. I'm out for a week.
See, that's a tough one. So when you say time that you've lost, I've taken a week off here and there for video games, and I've played sensibly. I'll wake up early. I'll play until 2-3 in the morning. I'll go to bed for 5 hours, and I'll play again. But when Destiny 2 came out, I went to the midnight launch. I played it all the way through for about 28 hours. Ooh. Had a 2-hour nap, and then I played it again for another 30-something hours.
Jeez.
I think I was up for almost 72 hours straight playing Destiny. And then I was like, okay, I should probably sleep. And I slept for, must have been about 19 hours straight. So I kind of lost a lot of time there. I didn't know what day I was on.
That's not the best day. Are you gaming right now in your basement? Because that really hurts. Like, I remember when I was gaming back in the good old days of my parents' house, I would game in the basement, and I would never, ever, I had no clock. It was kind of like a casino. They never had a clock around, so I had no idea what time of the day it was. And there'd be times that I'd game, and I'd game for hours, and I didn't know what time it was because I didn't have a watch, and I just went in, and I get up, and I'm like, it's 6 in the morning right now, and it's starting to get light out. I might as well just play some more. So I'd play for another couple hours,
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, I still do that now. all the time.
Oh, man.
That's why I like the basement. The basement's the best place.
It's also the one place you can kind of customize your own without anybody having to walk through it.
Yeah, it was one of the requirements of buying a house. I said to my other half, there has to be a room that's just for gaming. And we got this one with the basement, so it's nice. It's out the way.
She's a
keeper. As loud as I want. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, if she can understand that, you're like, I need a room just for me. Gaming.
Yep, just gaming. That's it.
Does she game with you at all?
No. She plays Ori and the Blind Forest when she can, so we play that on Xbox. We've got an Xbox upstairs.
I can't believe, she doesn't, this is who you are. You have a steady streaming job, basically, if you will. You usually stream, wait, it's 3 o'clock my time, so that's what, 8 o'clock yours, basically. You usually stream from 8 until about 12-ish your time.
Yeah, 8 till midnight.
Jeez,
8 until you fall asleep.
And I'm so blown away that you can actually, you know, set the streaming schedule and she doesn't kill you. like that's the thing. Like, I know
I hear a little envy in that voice.
There's a little bit of envy. I know that there's times I get a sacrifice to do it, and I do want to hang out with my woman. I just I can't bar off huge chunks of time like in a week to be like, you know what? I know you get home around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Let me see you for an hour, and then I'm going to start streaming for 4 hours, and I'm not going to go and see you again until you're in bed sleeping. I mean, that's awesome that she's on board with that, and I guess it really plays it to your favor, though.
I guess she knew from the beginning I was all into video games. And I played less before I started. Not like I didn't play less, but I was away so it wasn't as scheduled. So I could get home and then I'd play until like 2 o'clock in the morning and stuff, and do that a few times a week. But then once because she pushed me into streaming, she was like, "Just do it. Stop being a wimp. Just do it."
Make use of all that video game you're playing.
She actually bought me my first PC to try streaming, and it wasn't powerful enough to stream.
It's the thought that counts,
yeah,
though, right?
She tried. That's all that matters.
So then with that, I was kind of like, okay, you know what? That I'm going to build a PC and I'm going to do this, and yeah, she just supports it. And I mean, we still have, so Thursday nights I don't stream. Thursday night is typically date night, and I try not to stream on weekends because you go away, you got plans, you do this and that. But then there are odd weekends, like I'm streaming tomorrow, which is a Saturday, because Becca has hockey stuff to do, so she's off doing hockey, so I'll be streaming.
The question I have for you is, can she beat your ass?
No.
No, she plays hockey. You still say she can beat her up?
She's a midget.
That's great. That's great to hear. Anyway,
we do have to ask also, Hunterdoggz, the name. How did that come about?
So it's a play on my surname, which, I mean, I don't want to give it out.
Oh, okay.
It could go anywhere. But basically, so it's very, very, very close to my surname, like very close. So I've got a double-barreled surname. It's Hunter something. And when I was younger, I used to do athletics. I used to do the 200 meter, 400 meter, and my PE teacher was desperate for me to play rugby, or American football. And I hated it. I was like, I'm not interested in rugby. And so I tried it. I did the tryouts and stuff. And when I got the ball, I would just sprint. And I was so much faster than the actual rugby players. And he would get my name wrong, and he would scream, "Unleash the dog, Hunterdoggz," because he thought that was my actual surname. And when I was about 12 years old and I got my Xbox Live account, I was like, I'm going to do that. And I kept it since. 14 years strong. That's the story of my name.
Nice.
You see yourself going, with Twitch in the next, I know you hoped one day to reach partner, but what do you think is going to push you to that point? Like, what are you planning on doing with your channel that's going to really push you over the edge, help you to reach that goal?
Just keep trying to better it. So I want to do the dual PC, the better camera. I'm going to revamp all my graphics and do a new logo and stuff. I want to revamp the entire channel and just make it more interactive and better, and keep growing as a streamer myself.
Absolutely.
But I never started streaming to become a streamer. But now that I've become a streamer and I've started getting a following and people come in just to see me, I've got that bug, and I'm kind of like, you know what? Partner would be a dream come true, and why not set it as a goal? Why not go for it?
You would regret not trying.
Yeah. So obviously I want to try for it, but at the same time, I mean, I've got a job, I've got a degree, I've got a home. Like everything isn't set on this, but I would give up my job and everything to become a full-time streamer in a heartbeat. but I never set out for that to be the plan. But I wouldn't say no to it. That makes sense.
I think it all starts with this real life stream of you skiing, man. I think that's what's going to set you up. Set you up for success, especially if you break your leg. Oh boy, that's gonna go big.
You didn't actually know me when I was in Thailand, because I did a IRL stream from an elephant sanctuary with me stood next to an elephant.
What brought you to Thailand? Just
traveling
probably.
for 4 weeks.
No.
Went
Do they have
traveling
skiing in
for 4
Thailand?
weeks.
I think it's too
No.
warm there, right?
no.
It's like 40 degrees every day.
Well, where did you go? Like, you talking about Chiang Mai? Did you go to Bangkok? Where did you?
Went to Bangkok for 3 days. Then got the sleeper train up to Chiang Mai for a week. Or was it?
Is that where the elephant sanctuary was? Because
Yeah.
Okay.
But whilst in Chiang Mai, we went into the jungle and we stayed at one of the local tribes. That was pretty cool.
Wow.
Then did bamboo rafting, and then came back to Chiang Mai. Stayed in Chiang Mai for a little bit. We then flew all the way down south to Phuket and Koh Phi Phi, and then Koh Samui and all the James Bond islands.
Oh my God! How those islands? Are they beautiful?
Oh my God, they're amazing.
They look gorgeous. I'm like,
It is.
I'm jealous about that.
I'd recommend anyone to go. Everyone is super nice. Bangkok's a little bit heavy. Like, it is polluted, and you can feel the pollution in your lungs if you're there for anything more than 48 hours, but it was incredible. Also, their cinemas trump every cinema in the world. Like, their cinemas are amazing.
Yeah, do tell.
I watched, what was it? 7. I watched Star Wars Episode 8 in Thailand.
Hold on, do the math.
The last one, where...
Okay.
Yeah, the second new one. That makes sense.
Oh, it makes sense.
Obviously, we went to the cinema. Very, very, very cheap. But huge cinema. Everyone's really helpful. Pretty much empty because it's in English and it's just got Thai subtitles. But we sit down. And we had friends who were in Australia, and they came over to Thailand. So they, on their trip back from Australia to home, they were like, "Oh, we'll stop in Thailand for a few days." So they happened to be in Bangkok at the same time. And we went to this cinema, and we sit down, and it's just, relatively comfortable, like leather chairs, and it's like, okay, this is pretty nice. And they're doing the adverts, and it's all very boring, and we're just sat there waiting for this film to start. And all of a sudden, this Star Wars advert starts just before the film to explain what's going to happen. And we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, this chair just lifts. And, like, I'm suddenly in the air, and then the screen changes to you're in a TIE fighter, and the TIE fighter's flying.
No way.
Suddenly, the chair's moving, and I'm swinging off to the left and I'm swinging to the right. And then something hits the, like a blaster hits the TIE fighter, and the chair jerks, and then it pushes you into a different scene where you're in a fist fight with the stormtrooper. And the stormtrooper pushes you down and kicks you in the back, and all of a sudden this massage node just nudges me in the back, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
That is awesome.
And then and then you crash into the water, and then this water just started spraying into my face, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on. All the while, this is 3D, by the way, so I've got 3D glasses on.
Oh, gosh.
Fists coming flying at me.
Oh, my goodness.
And then you walk into a room, and it's on fire, and all of a sudden, this smell of smoke starts filling the room, and you can start smelling all these different aromas. So I'm getting sprayed, I'm getting kicked, I'm getting punched, there's big faces coming out the screen, and I was like, this cost probably a third of a ticket home. This is amazing. I want to stay here. Like, best experience of my life.
I think it was just better because you walked in having no clue what you were getting into.
No, absolutely.
We don't have anything like that in the UK. Like, this just doesn't exist.
Jimshi, do we even have anything like that in the US?
When I went to Disney World and
That's what I'm
like.
Yeah.
In 2006, they had like a right, but it wasn't.
Oh, was it Alien?
Anywhere near.
Was it Alien? Because I remember going that when I was like 6 years old, and the same thing happened. I was in a chair, and it showed like an alien in the middle of this, like in the middle of the stage, and they're like, "Oh, we have this alien locked up," and then all of a sudden the lights go out, and you hear the glass shatter.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely Alien, like from the movie Alien. And
maybe
it heard like something come up behind me and kind of nudged my seat. And you can feel the breath, like you could hear it breathing on you, and the breath was kind of hitting your neck, like a little bit of air.
I thought it smelled terrible though. That was the one thing that ruined it for me. Like, it was pretty cool until they had like their aromas, and I guess like they just had not cleaned it.
Probably because you crapped your pants. I'm not gonna lie, you hate scary things. But I think that's all the questions I have for you, Hunterdoggz. I mean,
that's about it.
I think you've done a fantastic job.
Well, thank you, good sir.
Thanks so much for being on the podcast with us.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry. I should have splashed my face before I came on. I'm just off streams. I'm quite hot.
No, it's fine. Do you want to go ahead and give your socials a plug?
It is Hunterdoggz on everything. So HUNTERDOGGZ, and you can find me on anything. It's a same handle for everything, which I recommend every streamer doing. Same handle makes life so much easier.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Hunterdoggz, and I look forward to seeing you stream. And what's your streaming schedule every Monday through
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
Yeah, there you go.
8 till 12. Probably going to change that till 7 to 11 BST though.
Big changes for you in the future, huh?
That'll be what? 2 till 7 your time?
Yeah,
that's Eastern time. All right.
Good. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Hunterdoggz. We would like to give a special thanks to Hunterdoggz for coming onto the podcast. You can catch him on Twitch at twitch.tv/Hunterdoggz. That's HUNTERDOGGZ.
Make sure you stay tuned for our next episode of the podcast. We release a new episode every Friday. And as always, stay rad, comrades.